Now, in this book, I'm telling you, I read some reviews on this book, and I haven't read anything bad. No one's really said anything bad about the book. I think they've kind of pretty much enjoyed it. You really give some insight on what's going on in the music business to this day, and you're definitely clearing up some things from the past. What was the main motivation for you writing this book?
Well, let me just tell you a little about what you just said. Not only is it the highest rated book that Simon & Schuster has ever put out, which makes me feel real good about it, but what I did was, since at this stage of my life, Elo, I'm not running for mayor of San Diego, and I really don't have to cash my Social Security checks, so I said, you know, man, I'm just going to tell it like it is. I'm going to tell the real and let everybody that reads it make up their own mind about it.
One thing that I had read was that every NWA artist that had came from you to this day has grossed over $175 billion after Jerry Heller.
Well, that's actually a small exaggeration, but they have grossed. I've heard recently that Dre alone has grossed between 10 and 15 billion. So we're up into the 10 to 20 billion dollar number, and it's growing all the time, because that includes, you know, all of the original members of NWA and anything that they're involved with.
Harry did not start with NWA. I know that for a fact. You've started way before then. I mean, you've been in the business for a long time. Not only that, I also know that you're regarded as one of the #1 top guys, executives in the world. You have been the man behind a lot of success on a lot of people that are some of the hugest names in the industry today.
Well, it makes me feel good. I sit here when you talk about that, it makes me feel good. But I started with the Standells in the middle 60s. They had a song called Dirty Water, which, while it was a pop hit, it really was the first punk song. And then I had the Grassroots, and then I got involved with Creedence Clearwater.
Wow.
Then, of course, in 1969, 1970, I brought Elton John to this country for his first U.S. engagement.
Wow.
And then Pink Floyd.
Wow.
And then I was involved with Journey and Styx and REO Speedwagon, and I did the Crosby Nash acoustic tour, Boz Scaggs, Van Morrison, Marvin Gaye, the Four Tops. So I actually, you know, go back a long way and have been at the forefront of every musical movement since the beginning of rock and roll.
That's going to bring us into the NWA thing. How did you ever get linked up with that whole situation?
It's amazing that you would hone in on all those things. I give you props for that, my man.
Thank you.
So I heard about a little scene that was happening in Los Angeles at a place called Macola Records, which was a little pressing plant.
Okay.
And I had been disgusted with the music scene, as I'm disgusted with the music scene right now. So in the mid-'80s, that was where the music scene was. I heard about Macola Records, where for $1,000, you could press up 500 records, complete with the artwork.
Wow.
This guy would send them out, Don McMillan would send them out to all his friends in other cities that did the same kind of thing that he did. And if you were lucky, the one radio station in America, little 5,000 watt station at the top of Alvarado Street called K-Day, which I think was probably as important as Jerry Heller was in the beginning of rap music.
That's right.
With Julio G,
That's right.
Tony G,
That's right.
Greg Mack. So
He's naming them too.
those were my guys.
That's
so they were the only station in America that was playing the records. So if you sold 10,000 12 inches at that time, and let me just give you an idea of who was pressing their own records at Macola. We had J.J. Fad,
right.
We had the L.A. Dream Team,
That's right.
We had the World Class Wrecking Crew,
Right.
We had CIA, we had MC Hammer, we had Ice-T,
Wow.
we had the Timex Social Club. So we had basically the backbone of what would become, or could have become, the biggest company in the history of the music business.
Now, some of these groups that you have just named, didn't you represent most of these groups?
I represented almost all of them, with the exception of Hammer and Timex Social Club, which was Jay King, along with Egyptian Lover and Rodney O and Joe Cooley. And
that is funny, because all these names that you've named at that period of time was the West Coast movement.